So, who remembers these mason jars we made just a couple weeks ago? They're so great for decoration, for decorative storage, and not only for that, but for gifts. You could easily fill it up with a cookie mix, a hot cocoa, fill it up with candies, anything like that. With the smaller ones, you could make your own like exfoliator or scrub, a cream, a lotion, anything like that. Let me show you how to make a bow to put on the top to just give it that little extra when you hand it off as a gift. Alright guys, here we go. Just take a magazine. You want it to have design or color from the bottom to the top and all sides because you're going to be wrapping it, so if it's focused in the center you're going to miss a lot of your design. So what I usually do is fold it in half. Just fold it back and forth until it's really loose and then you're able to tear it easily, but before you tear it you're going to want to fold in on both sides, so you're going to have a total of 4 sections. A really good project to do if you're like me and you get all your presents wrapped and you want just a little extra something to put on them. You got a little time to sit and watch a movie. This is super easy to do. It doesn't take a lot of thinking, but it does take some time. So you're going to do this with each section. You're going to fold it in thirds. So you want to try and get them as even as possible. And same thing, fold back and forth until you're able to just tear it really easily. I remember learning this in, what was it, like elementary school, and we thought we were so cool because we didn't need the scissors. And here I'm a grown-up still using this tactic. And I don't bother keeping them in order because I like to have a little bit of variety in my bow. Okay, so now you have all your strips, and what I like to try and do is take some of the Scotch tape. I usually get the little bit wider kind, and you're going to cut thin strips. And I like to just have some prepared and ready. This just makes the bow making process a little bit quicker. Okay, so now this part's going to be pretty easy. I'm just going to take one, and it kind of depends on how big of a bow you want. I'm just going to fold it in, and when I'm bringing it in, I'm overlapping it, and I want this top part to make a triangle-like, kind of like a cone. If you watched the video on the Christmas trees out of paper towel rolls, it's kind of like that, only I don't want this to have any opening or a very little opening. And then I like to put the tape on the back here. Take a piece. And then you flip it over, and you're going to do the same thing with this one. And I like to put the tape again on the back. And now this is where I like to have scissors, but you don't have to have scissors. So piece one of your bow. So now I like to have a very full bow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 3 more like that, so I have a total of 4 strips that are going to go on the bottom. And what I try and do is I just try and make it about the same. So I'll fold the first one and tape it down. And then I'll go over to my initial piece and I'll see about how long I need it. So I need it to go to about here. And then before like finishing it or taping it up, I always check it and see how close it is. Okay, so it needs to be a little taller. Now let's check this one. See how I match it up at the bottom, but at the top it doesn't match quite? So I need to give it a little bit more height. That's pretty close. Okay, so then I'm going to take a piece of tape. If you have scissors, this is where you can just cut, and I usually cut at a diagonal line. Now I have 2 of my 4 pieces, so I'm going to do that 2 more times. Alright, so right now I have 3 of the smaller ones, and I have 4 of the bigger ones. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set these 3 smaller ones aside, and I'm going to use these bigger ones. And I usually just try and put them a little bit together, so I'll usually start with a crisscross, like a plus sign. And then I'll go the other way, but when I'm doing this, I'm looking to make sure I don't have too many of the same colors together. So this is like the purpley purpley and peach color, and so is this, so I'm going to put it on this other opposite side. And over here it's a little bit darker, and there's green right here, so I'm going to have the green over on this side and a little bit darker over on this side. Kind of makes sense? And you can kind of see where it's going this way. Now you want to make sure that it's as like in a circle as possible with those outer corners, and you can use a little bit bigger pieces of tape, but I get them all set in place and then I push down. When you push down, it's going to shift everything a little bit. So I push down and then I look again, and then you can start taping. And you might not be able to get all of them taped like this, so if you need to like lift up a little bit, oh, see, it mostly stuck. You can take a couple pieces and, like you always used to do, fold it in a little circle. When you set it down initially, just set it down lightly and then make sure everything matches up like you originally wanted it to, and then you can push down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these other pieces, these little bit smaller pieces, and I'm going to match them in there. These all tape together, and then we'll do a roundabout one for the bottom. Fold over, get it as in the middle as I can, and then you kind of got to match it back up to where you had it, and push down. Good deal. So it's looking pretty good, right? Now we're just going to make a few smaller ones for the top. I'll start and get one kind of so it's almost done, and just see if it's going to fit or if I need to go smaller or bigger. So I've started it here. I've folded both ways, and I'm not sure if I think I do want another one going across there. So let's just make one to finish this part out. I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting really excited for Christmas. Christmas is definitely one of my favorite holidays. I love being able to see family that I don't see very often, and I love giving gifts. I love doing the shopping part, but it's so hard to hang on to the gifts until Christmas actually gets here. I find that really difficult. So when Christmas finally gets here and I get to pull out all the Christmas presents, I love Christmas Day, watching everybody open everything. It's just awesome. So I'm really excited. Glad it's closer rather than further. My husband's family grew up doing Christmas on Christmas Eve, and so it kind of worked out when we got married, because I always grew up doing Christmas morning. So it gives us time with both of the families and actually spend some good quality time with each family and sharing, and I really enjoy it. What Christmas traditions do you guys have? Let me know in the comments below. You can put the tape in the middle. I just find that a lot of times it kind of bends kind of funny if you do it that way. It's going to be too small. It'll be an even more inner piece. But this is why I tell you not to throw away any of those extra pieces that you have. When you're making the more inner pieces, you don't want to make them too much smaller, because as you can see when you put them in, they're kind of going to need to bend. So if you make them too small, then when they bend, the points won't come out over the other pieces. Does that make sense? I hope you guys will let me know if there's any questions, because I really want you guys to be able to do these projects that I'm sharing with you guys. So anytime there's questions or you're not sure how I did something, just feel free to comment below. Let me know. It's so funny. I always wonder if you guys are going to be able to hear my kids, because in the background they're talking to my husband and playing and sometimes watching stuff, and so I never know what's going to come through in the background and what's not. Okay, so let's see how these will all fit in. So one tradition we also have is we always go up to my grandma's for Christmas. Every quote-unquote Christmas Eve that we're there, we will sing Christmas songs, like every Christmas song in the book, until everybody is beyond sick of singing. And then we'll stay up and talk, and there's a bunch of snacks. You leave there feeling like 50 pounds heavier, and then in the morning we wake up and open presents and just spend the day hanging out together. A lot of times we'll play games, and that's like one of my favorite things. When I was little, I hated singing the Christmas songs. Oh my goodness, I could not wait for the Christmas singing to be over. I would try and escape. I'd try and go into the other room. And now I am excited that my kids get to share that with me, even though they're young, and we probably won't be able to do it too much longer, because obviously my grandma's getting a little older. I am really excited that they're getting to be part of it, and hopefully that they have some of the memory for when they're a little bit older. Okay. So now I'm going to try and fit in this little piece, and to do that I'm just going to take some tape and I'm going to do our roundabout one and put it right in the middle. And this is like when it's getting smaller, a lot of times is when I more so go in holding the points. And now there's a couple different ways you can finish it up. Take a smaller piece and wrap it and then put it in there. So it's kind of like that. But I don't so much like that just because when you see bows, like that's not what you see. What I like to do is I like to take the smaller pieces and make more of like these types. And on these ones, that's a lot of times when I'll put the tape on the inside, because you're going to have smaller pieces and that means you won't have as much space on the outside. Like, did you guys just hear that bang? I don't know how you'd not hear that, because I'm pretty sure one of my children is jumping down the hallway on their way to bed. Okay, do you see why I continue doing the points? Because this looks like a real bow. We have this little opening right here. So that's a lot of times when I'll take one piece and I'll fold it just one way. The middle is the trickiest part, which you probably assumed. So I have it folded on one side, and I'm not going to fold the other side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut. Let me see, I want to be shorter, so I'm probably going to need to retape it. So this part, I'm going to fold. It's not hard once you get used to it. It's really kind of fun to sit and like watch TV while you do it or something like that. Okay, so what I like to do is take a long and narrow strip and take it across here, and now I'm going to work it into here. And while you're doing this, the tape kind of catches. If you have a pencil or something, I usually go in and tape it down even a little bit more firm with that. Voila! So, what do you guys think? Will you give it a try? Do you think it looks pretty cool? I love doing this. It's like a cute little hobby, and save some money on bows because those get stinking expensive. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys! Or they're great for very full bowl. What is this called? And I forget what I was saying to you guys, so just ignore that.